Hey there, welcome back to my channel, and if this is your first time, don't forget to subscribe down below and get those notifications because I'm going to show you how to better position and market your consulting firm. Okay, today I want to talk about cold outreach and how to stay out of what I call cold outreach Colditz. Now, when I mentioned that to Claire in the office, different generation, there was a blank stare because, so I need to explain what Colditz is. Colditz is a castle in Germany that was used during the Second World War as a prisoner of war venue to send Allied officers when they had repeatedly tried to escape other prisoner of war encampments. So it all sounds a bit less than nice. Great way to kick off any sort of cheery YouTube video. But it's really just selling this idea that when you do this sort of cold outreach, quite often you're burning bridges. You're getting consigned to that cold outreach Colditz because you've outreached with a lazy message. You've done it on scale. You've done it en masse perhaps. And the message hasn't been human. It hasn't been personal. And there are so many people doing this that you've burned that bridge. You had your chance first time. It's not landed. You're getting ghosted. And any follow-ups thereafter are just going to fall flat. So how do we stop that from happening? Well, today I'm going to give you 3 tips for better outreach, however cold, warm, hot it might be. And this is going to improve the kind of response that you're going to get to any messages you're sending via cold email, via LinkedIn. And tip number 1 is ditch the automation. Now, this doesn't just go for cold email. There are plenty of products out there that will allow you to email people en masse. You'll be able to go and get the data from places like Zoom Info, for example. And once you've got those email addresses, of course, you can set up an email and have it sent to thousands of people. One person I spoke to recently, who's in that kind of appointment setting space, said that for their clients, they send out between 4,000 and 7,000 emails a day to get a handful of positive responses in the aim of just getting one appointment. Why would you bother? Yes, it's automated. Yes, you might have the data, but the vast majority of consulting firms I'm talking to don't need hundreds and thousands of prospects. They haven't got that many. Their addressable market is much, much smaller and tighter focused than that quite often. So you can't get the data in those sorts of numbers to be able to make those numbers work. And why would you buy into such a large scale, throw a load of mud and see what sticks kind of approach? So ditch the automation. If you've done it via LinkedIn as well, using products like Duck Soup or Alfred or Expandy, then ditch that too. All right? I'm going to promote very, very fervently that you adopt a personalized approach, very much one-to-one. And that starts with tip number 2, researching a trigger. Now, I want you to go and find some reason to connect with this person or some level on which to connect, a hook that you can use to get into the conversation. Have a look at what's going on in their world. Look at their recent posts on LinkedIn. Look at their recent blog posts that they might have published. Find them on Twitter, wherever else on the web you might find them. Maybe they're doing TikTok dances, whatever it might be. Find a way to get into the conversation because we have to create a dialogue. And that doesn't mean jumping into their inbox with some sort of pitch or something that's otherwise work related. Now, I'm not going to name names, but a client of mine contacted me recently and said that somebody had suggested a message that they should send out to their contacts on LinkedIn. And actually to those that they'd just connected with. So this was going in the connection request. And it was along the lines of, have you noticed in this particular industry that performance is dwindling in this particular area? We've got a report that tells you exactly how to overcome that. Would you like a copy? Here's a link. Throwing everything into that message. First message. And pitching a report that they're going to send them to. And actually, it was a gated offer. So they're going to have to submit a form in order to get access to it. An additional level of friction that's really not required. It just doesn't make any sense. People aren't going to respond to that, and they don't. And the evidence supports that. But if we can get somebody into a dialogue, and that means getting a response from them before we start talking about anything work-related, then that's a really, really great way to go. So research the trigger, find out, have they had a recent office move? Have they had a big win in terms of an award or a new client that they've just taken on? Has the individual just been promoted into a new role perhaps, or into a new company even? There's going to be something that you can use as a hook to either congratulate them or ask them a question relative to it. Anything that gets them into a dialogue and gets them responding to you. And then when they're in that dialogue with you, make it highly, highly personal. And then you can start leading the conversation towards your proposition. But here's the thing to do, and it's tip number 3, is to imagine, even when you're messaging them via LinkedIn or via cold email, that you're standing right in front of them. So conversations don't open up with comments like, have you noticed in this particular industry that sales are dwindling by 75%? Well, we've put together a report that... Forget it. Forget it. That's not how people talk to each other. Imagine that you're standing in front of a human being, sparking up a conversation for the first time. That's exactly what's happening online too. So why would you act any differently? If you're thinking about sending a particular message, maybe you already do this sort of outreach and you are less than impressed with the results that you're getting. Have a look at your messaging. Imagine that you are the recipient and that they're standing in front of you right now. Does it make sense? Would you actually use that sort of language? Would you open up with those statements that you've opened up your message with? Those are my 3 tips for today. That's how you stay out of cold outreach Colditz. And I hope you found that useful. More tips coming on this vibe. We won't talk too much about cold outreach. I want to talk more about positioning in some upcoming videos. So do, again, subscribe, hit that notification bell. Give me some thumbs up if you've liked this content and I'll keep it coming. I'll see you on the next video real soon.